the afro in 1942. Actually, I was 14 years old when I started. I remember when I was a boy selling afros. I remember when Joe Louis knocked back spelling that. I was selling afros.
I started delivering afros in 1948 to 1956. So I delivered afro for 8 years. But during the time I was selling papers, with my earnings, I bought food and food for my family and my first bicycle. And I had a basket on the front of the bicycle and a basket on the backside. That was where I loaded the papers up.
In the days that I was selling, when I started selling the Afro-American newspapers, the newspapers were 7 cents per paper. And my commission was only 2 cents per paper. Those who were thrifty as I was, it's amazing, I found a way to save some of the commissions, the earnings, from 7 cents per paper, knowing that I had to keep my little 2 cents separate.
You had to do your stint. You had to run through that piece of the business. Billy Murphy, our publisher Jake Oliver, James Wood, doctors, lawyers, whoever, is that this was an important piece of learning that business. You had to learn all the different levels of business. It was like the McDonald's of today, where you got your first job, your first opportunity to learn to do that. And it was something that we did within our own community for our own selves.
We felt a kinship to the whole establishment. Yeah. You know, we were on the street trying to push the papers, but it meant more than that. I was a part of an organization.
And if you look at how, when we start looking at those that did deliver the paper and who they are today, and they would tell you how important it was and the kind of skills that they learned that they use today is help them be successful in business, politics, education, etc. So it was a very important first job.
Chief Appeal Judge Robert Bell was selling paper during that time. Elijah Cummings had sold afros, resin. F. Lewis also sold afros. Kwasi Fume. A lot of people, influential people I see that sold afros, did real well.
The saying was that anybody who ever grew up to be anybody started out being a Afro paperboy. So when I got old enough to go out and hawk the papers, that's what I did. But where else could you at that age, when I was probably about 10 or 11, get on a bus for free and go any place in Baltimore you wanted to go and meet all the interesting people, and at the same time selling something that everybody was very interested in reading. Everybody knew what the Afro was. And the magic of all that was they could more or less set the time of the day when the Afro generally was expected to hit the streets. And you knew what that time was as a result of the boys, the paper boys, yelling Eddie Afro. I mean, it's like a yell, Eddie Afro. That's what it did. You know, so, and you know, but you would yell a lot louder than that because you know people had to hear you, because the folks inside the houses, they you know, they would open their windows and say, "Come on in."